According to the illustrious magician Harry Houdini, magic is achieved through illusion. Late in his career, though, Houdini alluded to something that he experienced, which he called real magic. He apparently had acquired the ability to produce results that were, in fact, unexplainable. Real magic is the title of this tape because I became attracted to the paradox inherent in those two words. You, like most people, are probably convinced that if it is real, it cannot be magic, and magic cannot be real. However, I believe we experience real magic when we transcend the paradox. In the past several years, my life has undergone a magnificent transformation. I find myself on a path leading to levels of awareness and results that I can only describe as miraculous. This unexpected turn that my own life has taken has occurred almost without my consent. I had no grand plan. What I did have was a willingness, an openness to seeing things another way. Now that I've been a witness to miracles in my personal life, I feel compelled to share this new magical awareness. Perhaps you've been drawn to this tape by the same natural flow of life that has motivated me to talk about real magic. As I look back at the entire tapestry of my life, I can see that every aspect of my life was necessary and perfect. Each step led eventually to a higher place, even though that step often felt like an obstacle or a painful experience. Begin right now to reconsider your entire life experience as a beautiful journey toward greater awareness. A simple way to do this is to envision your life as a journey with 3 ascending paths. On the first path of your journey, you learn through a process I call enlightenment through suffering. At this stage, you ask, "Why me?" when something occurs that is painful or difficult. After a while, you see with the benefit of hindsight and suffering that it allowed you to move on to another life experience of great value. You realize that you had to experience the pain in order to transcend it. Some people continue the cycle their entire lifetime. They never seem to get the message that unless you learn from your mistakes, you are doomed to repeat them. For persons in this category, real magic remains unavailable. If you recognize the first path as a pattern in your own life, then you probably have moved up past suffering as your means to learning to enlightenment through outcome. At this level, you develop a knowing that says, "There are no accidents. Everything I am experiencing is necessary for me to move ahead to the next step." This is a shift of paramount significance. The shift in your mind allows you to look at the outcome of an event or experience and what you can learn from it. Instead of a poor me approach, you shift to a learning approach. You ask yourself, how can I create the outcome I want with what I'm presently experiencing? Many people spend their entire lifetimes on this second path. They see obstacles as opportunities. Living at outcome is far superior to living at suffering. What is missing in their lives, however, is the possibility of experiencing real magic and the ability to make miracles happen. For this, one needs to go to the third path on this metaphorical journey I call the third path, purpose. Learning that you have a heroic mission and getting in step with that mission is the path I'm encouraging you to take. As you begin to introduce real magic into your life, everything in the universe has a purpose. The invisible intelligence that flows through everything in a purposeful fashion is also flowing through you. Here's one way to begin the process of getting to purpose. First, think about the concept of eternity. No beginning, no end, just like the concept of God or nature or the universe. Try thinking of your life as a parenthesis in eternity. The parentheses open at the moment of your conception and close at the instant of your death. The space within this parentheses is your life, surrounded by something called eternity. There is something that is very much a part of us that is invisible. Call it mind, thoughts, consciousness, soul, or even Louise if you like. The invisible self, the part that is not your physical sensory self, is the part that can contemplate eternity. If you even mildly accept the notion of eternity, then it is real for you. Remind yourself that everything exists for some reason as a part of the perfect intelligence that is the universe. Next, right here and now, go back to being a child again in your mind. You will see that the childhood experiences, whatever they were, helped that little person you were to become the adult you are today. I'm not asking you to judge, like or dislike, approve or disapprove. Simply see that each experience led to the next and offered you something to grow on or not to grow on. As you travel backwards in your mind, you can go all the way back to your infancy, right back to your very beginning, Mentally contemplate the speck of time immediately preceding your conception when you were still part of eternity. There had to be an instant when, for whatever reason, you came from what we call nothingness to somethingness, and the question I pose to you is why? I suggest that your presence in the world of form has a grand mission, and that you can discover and begin thinking, feeling, and behaving in ways consistent with that mission. For me, Wayne Dyer, in the 1990s, I have gone back in my meditations and discovered why I showed up in form back in 1940. It feels very clear to me. I accept that I was born to accomplish certain things, that each and every experience of my life since conception has led me to this purpose. My purpose is to give, to serve, to promote peace and prosperity, and to become totally unconditionally loving to all people. Getting to purpose in life by going within and discovering that purpose is about loving unconditionally, and serving alters one's worldview dramatically. Miracle making is then just around the corner. Suffering decreases measurably because the emphasis ceases to be, why me? When you go beyond outcome in life, you find yourself unconcerned about what's in it for you. You go beyond success, achievement, and performance as indications of your life's mission. Your purpose takes hold, and you gain a sense of joy and inner harmony, knowing that you are divinely fulfilling your reason for being here. Once you begin the journey toward a life on purpose, you enter the realm of real magic. When you are on purpose, you are truly flowing with life, experiencing a kind of harmony that comes from not having to strive for something else. You sense that you are being watched over, and your actions come from this inner beatitude of rightness or centeredness. Live your life entirely on purpose and renounce any and all credit that may come your way from your actions. Be consistently aware of the need to serve God and to serve others in any and all of your actions. This is the way of the miracle worker. You may be thinking that this is a nice philosophy, but one that is too simplistic in the dog-eat-dog competitive 20th century world. I acknowledge and respect your reservations. In fact, I lived with similar skepticism for the larger portion of my life. I can only say that miracles and real magic began to show up in my life when I got myself to purpose. Only when I stopped being concerned about what was coming to me was I able to be in a state of grace. Get yourself aligned with your purpose. Discover the joy and peace of giving, not getting, of contributing, not acquiring. Why? Because you can't really get anything. You show up here with nothing. You leave here with nothing. All you truly can do with this life in form is to give it away. Purpose is always about giving. When you experience giving, serving, loving, and promoting harmony, you will feel the difference within yourself. As you prepare for this exploration of real magic, you may be asking, well, how will I do it? What if I need help? I want to help you find your answers. Ancient Zen proverb says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Let's examine the 4 key words in this Zen proverb. Student. Be a student. Stay open and willing to learn from everyone and anyone. Every single person you encounter in your lifetime has something to teach you. The ability to create real magic involves, first of all, being a student of life. Ready. This translates to being a willing student. As a student who is ready, you are eager for what everyone and everything has to offer you. Teacher. The teacher is everywhere. The assistance you need will be provided by the universe as soon as you convert your readiness to willingness. Once you are willing, you will find teachers in every niche of your life. When you, the student, are ready and willing, the teacher will show up. You simply have to look around, open your new eyes, and silently ask yourself, who is my teacher? Appear. The teacher is making an appearance in everything and everyone you encounter today. As you are getting your life on purpose and gaining the ability to make miracles show up in your life, you will recognize the teacher. Once you feel yourself open enough to experience your own purpose for being here, and you have opened yourself up to receiving divine assistance by being a willing student, you will be ready to believe in your own capacity for becoming your very own miracle worker. When I talk about the world of real magic and miracles, I'm not referring to turning rocks into gold, or raising the dead, or commanding the seas to part. I'm discussing whatever you have considered beyond your ability to create for yourself, because of limitations you believe you have. I want you to cultivate the foundation for creating real magic in any area that you would like. You must begin by examining your life focus and beliefs before attempting to implement any real magic strategies. I have identified 7 beliefs that can help you tap the power of real magic. Number 1, there's an invisible but knowable life force within you. Try cultivating an awareness of the invisible life force that suffuses all form in the universe, including your own physical body. This is the same universal intelligence that directs a rose to be a rose, the planets to align and move through space, and you to be you. It is in fact what allows you to perceive and experience your physical body and this physical world in which you find yourself temporarily housed. Number 2, your thoughts are something that you control, and they originate with you. Thought is our way of processing and recording our human experience. Your thoughts create your experience of your health, wealth, and every detail of your world. As a step toward the awakened life of real magic, you must consider how your thoughts have contributed to a non-miraculous, limiting approach to life. Then you will know that you can also produce the opposite. Number 3, there are no limits. All of the things that you have become convinced are limits are products of the way in which you have learned to think. You probably were taught that logic and scientific verification dictate what is possible and what is not. But people who believe only what they can see or prove scientifically are limited by the current level of sophistication of our measuring devices. Be a person who accepts no limits in your mind. None. Number 4, your life has a purpose. The entire universe is an intelligent system. The invisible part of you, your thoughts and feelings, are also a part of the intelligent system that is you. What I'm asking of you here is to simply know you have a purpose, and then you'll be on your way to being able to create a miracle of your life in any and all areas of your choosing. Number 5, you overcome weaknesses by leaving them behind. You cannot outthink your weaknesses and limitations. What you can do is leave that stage of your life behind you and walk through the gate into a new way of being. You leave behind the belief that you cannot change, and you will leave behind the physical activity that has supported that belief. Picture it behind you. Look back at it and know that you no longer live that way. Know this to be truth, and you'll soon see yourself creating real magic in your life. Number 6, examine what you believe to be impossible, and then change that belief. Take an inventory of what it is that you believe cannot happen in your life. Vow, at the very minimum, to rid yourself of these beliefs. If anyone ever on the planet has overcome a diagnosis of terminal illness, know that such a capacity exists within all of us. This universal law that created miracles has not been repealed and never will be. Go to work on that thought right now. In this moment, which is the only physical reality you have. Number 7, go beyond logic. Try to let in the idea that there is another dimension that is very much a part of you, which has nothing to do with logic or scientific validation. You have never seen, touched, smelled, or physically felt a thought or a dream or a feeling, yet you know they exist. And so it is with a portion of your humanity that I call your soul. There are some who will never believe it unless they see it, and others who will see it because they believe it. Few of us have had any training or upbringing in how to tap into the power of our minds. In order to enter the world of real magic, you will need to learn how to go way beyond your rational mind and enter the dimension of spirituality. In order to participate in the high drama of miracle making and real magic, you must believe in your spiritual self, which has absolutely nothing to do with your religious affiliation. Once you have the experience of this invisible dimension and know this higher place that you can go to within your mind, you will have shifted from being an exclusively physical person, a human being having a spiritual experience, to a spiritual being having a human experience. You have the capacity to create miracles and live a life of real magic by using your invisible self to influence your physical reality. When you truly become a spiritual being first, a physical being second, and know how to live and breathe in this new alignment, you will become your own miracle worker. When you examine the lives of the most influential people who've ever walked among us, you discover one thread that winds through all of them. They have all been aligned firstly with their spiritual nature and only secondarily with their physical selves. Without exception, all of our greatest teachers have been spiritual beings. They didn't limit themselves to the 5 senses in any way. All of the great teachers and doctrines, including Christianity and Buddhism, Judaism, Islam, Sufism, and Confucianism, have left us with a similar message: go within, Discover your invisible higher self. Know God as the love that is within you. Becoming a spiritual being is synonymous with being a miracle worker and knowing the bliss of real magic. The differences between people who are non-spiritual or physical-only beings and those that I call spiritual beings are dramatic. I use the terms spiritual and non-spiritual in the sense that a spiritual being has a conscious awareness both of the physical and the invisible dimension, while the non-spiritual being is only aware of the physical domain. Here are 12 beliefs and practices for you to cultivate as you develop your abilities to manifest miracles in your life. Number 1, a spiritual being knows that there are other senses beyond the 5 physical senses. The non-spiritual being lives exclusively within the 5 senses, believing that if you cannot see, touch, smell, hear, or taste it, then it simply doesn't exist. As you work toward becoming a spiritual being as well as a physical being, you begin to live more and more consciously within the invisible realm, hence a whole new world opens up. Number 2, the non-spiritual being believes we are alone in the universe. The spiritual being knows he or she is never alone.